They called it the Empire of Light, the land where kings ruled not just with power, but with vision. The Persian Empire, born from the deserts of ancient Iran, rose like the morning sun, illuminating the ancient world with order, art, and ambition. It was the empire that dreamed of eternity, where kings styled themselves not as conquerors, but as guardians of the world's harmony. And yet, like all dreams of immortality, it too would one day fade into the sands of time. But its legacy, like the fire of its sacred temples, still burns within us today. The story begins over 2.5 millennia ago, when the lands of Persia were divided among tribes, proud, fierce, and forever at war. Among them rose a man named Cyrus the Great. He was no ordinary ruler. He was a visionary. Where others saw borders, he saw unity. Where others saw enemies, he saw the chance for peace. In 550 BC, he united the Persian tribes under his banner and began to forge an empire that would change history. But Cyrus did not conquer like other kings. When he marched into Babylon, the greatest city of its age, he did not burn it. He liberated it. He freed its captives, restored their temples, and declared that all faiths and peoples under his rule were free to live according to their own customs. His decree, written on clay, known today as the Cyrus Cylinder, is often called the first charter of human rights. It was a new vision of empire, not built on fear, but on respect and balance. The Persians called this harmony Asha, the divine order of truth and justice. And under Cyrus, Asia spread across the known world. From the valleys of the Indus to the shores of the Aegean, his empire grew, not by destruction, but by inclusion. Roads connected lands once isolated. Couriers carried messages across thousands of miles and days, and languages, sciences, and faiths mingled like never before. The world had never seen such a vast and peaceful dominion. But empires, like men, are mortal. In 530 BC, Cyrus fell in battle, defending his people at the far eastern frontiers. His tomb at Pasargadae still stands, a simple stone structure beneath the open sky, a reminder that even the mightiest kings return to dust. Yet, his dream did not die with him. His descendants, Cambyses, Darius, Xerxes, would carry his legacy to new heights. Darius the First, the great organizer, transformed the Persian Empire into the most efficient state the world had ever seen. He divided his lands into provinces called satrapies, each governed by a satrap loyal to the crown. He built the Royal Road, 2,700 kilometers of stone and dust, connecting Sardis to Susa, where mounted couriers could travel faster than any army. It was sight that neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor darkness of night could stop them, whereas it would echo thousands of years later in the oaths of modern couriers. Darius also built Persepolis, the jewel of Persia. Its grand staircases, its carved reliefs, showing people from every nation, bring in tribute its golden halls where kings dined beneath ceilings of cedar and lapis. All were designed not merely to impress, but to represent the unity of a world under one rule. Here, art and power merged into something eternal. Yet even as the empire reached for perfection, shadows grew at its edges. Across the sea, small city-states in Greece began to defy the Persian king's will. They were few in number, but rich in spirit, and their resistance would spark one of history's most legendary conflicts. The Persian Wars began with fire and ended in legend. At Marathon, Persian might met, Greek, result. At Thermopylae, 300 Spartans faced the armies of Xerxes beneath a storm of arrows. Though the Persians conquered Greece's cities, they could not conquer its soul. The empire that had ruled millions could not crush the idea of freedom born in its enemies' hearts. And yet, Persia endured. For 2 centuries it remained a world superpower, bridging east and west, influencing trade, language, art, and governance. Its kings were called Shahansia, kings of kings, but they were also stewards of civilization. Under their rule, irrigation turned deserts green, astronomy reached new heights, and Zoroastrianism, the world's first monotheistic faith, taught of the eternal battle between light and darkness, truth and falsehood. To be Persian was to believe that good thoughts, good words, and good deeds could preserve the world. But no empire lasts forever. In 330 BC, a new conqueror rose. A young Macedonian named Alexander. He crossed into Persia with a burning ambition to avenge Greece and claimed the title of world ruler. The battles were fierce, and though the Persians fought valiantly, Alexander's genius and destiny could not be denied. Darius III fell, and with him, the Achaemenid Empire. The world's first true superpower. When Alexander entered Persepolis, he gazed upon its wonders, the columns, the golden thrones, the halls built by Darius and Xerxes, and in a moment of wine and vengeance, he set it aflame. The city that had stood as a symbol of unity burned through the night, its flames lighting the mountains of Persia like a funeral pyre for an empire. And yet, even in its ashes, Persia refused to die. Its language, its art, its spirit lived on, absorbed into the heart of Alexander's empire, then reborn under new dynasties. The Parthians, then the Sassanids. Each carried the torch of Persia forward, shaping the world that would follow. The Roman Caesars would call themselves kings of kings. The Arab caliphs would adopt Persian administration. Even the empires of Europe would learn from Persia's model of governance, its respect for law and culture. The dream of order that Cyrus began never truly ended. It became part of humanity's own dream, a belief that strength need not crush, that power can coexist with justice. Today, when we speak of civilization, of human rights, of tolerance, we speak in the language first whispered in the courts of Persepolis. Imagine, for a moment, walking through its ruins today. The pillars rise like the bones of giants against the sky. The wind hums through broken carvings of kings and nations long gone. But if you listen closely, you can almost hear the voices. The artisans chiseling stone, the messengers galloping across the royal road, the priests tending the sacred fire that was never meant to die. The Persian Empire was more than a nation. It was a vision that the world could be won under justice, not fear. That knowledge and order could build peace as lasting as stone. It was a dream of eternity. And though empires fall, dreams like these endure. For even the sands of Persia cannot bury the light of its kings.